Thank you. So today we're going to talk about innovation and innovation made in Cluj. Just a short introduction of myself. I'm co-CEO at Linnify, a local digital product studio here from Cluj that transforms authentic ideas into scalable and successful products in the market. And I have here today with me Cristian Dascălu, managing partner of Techcelerator, which helps startups scale and get on international markets. We also have Oana, coordinator of Cluster of Education. She has brought through the organization the Fund for Innovation and Experimentation in Cluj, which is at its second edition already. Otgon. Otgon is the coordinator of the Intelligent Specialization Department within the Regional Agency for Northwest Regional Agency for Development here in Cluj. We also have Laura Cernău, PhD student at Universitatea Babeș-Bolyai, deeply involved with the InnoChange program. We have Florin Pop, a dear friend and CEO at Primainvest, who has guided and continuously guides startups here in Cluj in their way to innovation. And gratefully, we have Leontin Toderici, Deputy CEO and Chief Operations Officer at Banca Transilvania, our host today. And of course, Andrei, Andrei Kelemen, CEO of Cluj IT Cluster, who has invited me today to moderate this panel and hopefully get some new ideas out to the surface through our discussions. What I want to mention from the beginning, I want us to have some frank, open, and authentic conversations, just like friends. Okay, thank you for the introduction. We're going to start with a short, brief personal story of each one of you. And I would like to understand what's your personal journey into getting in the innovation space and what innovation means for each one of you. So, Christy, just because you're near me, you can start.
Okay. Hi. Hi to everybody. Happy to see you again at a new edition of Cluj Innovation Days. It's a pleasure to see that we are getting more and more speed into the innovation part and putting it into the market. I started in Cluj together with doing a Cluj Hub in 2012. Cluj Hub kind of takes its roots from a community built by TEDx Cluj, which started in 2010, and because we didn't want to meet just yearly, we got towards a space, as also Leontin was mentioning about the space is still important. We're not gonna live only in the cloud. Just the cloud will help us live better. From 2012, we started to bring people together in meetups, in different, and especially entrepreneurs, and we are trying to put more tech people into the startup thinking, into the innovation thinking. And because the space wasn't enough, we started to facilitate different programs. These programs were, let's say, more junior at the start, but little by little they increased in terms of their output, in terms of our understanding, in terms of the public pickup, in terms of critical mass, because more and more people were looking at this. Also, Banca Transilvania started to do some investments with Briciu, with a couple of other ones, and it was contributing to the validation that things are serious into this field. And we started to look very much at this critical mass, and we got together with a team in Bucharest, actually two teams, another program team and investment team. And we got to put together two programs from Romania and two programs in Romania, from Cluj and from Bucharest, into Techcelerator, and applying with that to European Investment Fund for a VC fund, Gapminder, which is operating now on the market. It's at the second fund. It was 50 million. Now we are trying to increase that. So all in all, kind of this is a fast forward towards what happened from very little things, very local things, getting to a national approach, because actually all these things took place because we were in search of a critical mass in order to generate impact, and we barely have this critical mass at national level. So let's think definitely national level, but even maybe beyond that.
Thank you, Cristi.
Hello, my name is Oana Buzatu, and I need to start by saying that every time I hear Cristi's story, I feel proud, and I somehow see the city in a smaller sample of its story through the journey that you had with your endeavors. And I think that from the point I'm coming to this story, what it only makes me think that we need to contribute and to respect this this work that was done so far and try to make it more efficient or more meaningful. Because what I'm looking for here, it's meaning. I come from a, let's say, maybe not so usual background when it comes to innovation. I come from the public sector, and I come from the institutional communication direction. And little by little, step by step, we got to the point of being part with the municipality where I am a public servant in the first cluster of education that we created together with other formal actors that are interested and responsible for learning and for knowledge exchange, which is the county, the city, the public universities, and the school inspectorate. And our project that we bring at the table, the most mature one is, as you mentioned, the Cluj Innovation and Experiment Fund, and it tries to do whatever it's meaningful and whatever it's needed in the community in order to feed this type of efforts and this type of ecosystems. And I really hope to be able to face the challenge and to contribute in a meaningful way. In a couple of years, to hear Cristi say this story, saying we have critical mass here, and it started from a different place that I have expected from the numbers and the charts that I was consulting when I decided that critical mass needs to come from outside national level. Thank you.
Thank you, Oana. Cristi.
Hello, everybody. My background in the field of innovation is for only 5 years, let's say. Since I'm working in the field of European funds, we are trying to match what is possible through the European funds, through the European regulation, and what is needed. And unlike what Oana mentioned, that Fix is trying everything it's possible and needed for supporting startups, we have a more limitative framework, since we try to see what is possible from the perspective of European regulation. But let's say our national background allows us to bring something new, because we are trying to simplify and bring closer European financing to an approach that is helpful and meaningful on the short term for a startup and on a long term for the society in a whole. And regarding the second question from Catalin, what is innovation? I just want to, let's say, highlight what I, let's say, simplified the whole innovation and research concept. And from my perspective, it's simply bringing to the customer a product that it's useful, because we are not talking about a disruptive innovation at a global scale. It's impossible to create the whole image of what's research and what's brought on the market in Asia or in Europe at every level of a startup at every moment. But if you bring something new to your customer, then from my opinion, it's an innovation. And this is possible even at the level of local authorities. when to your level of local authority you bring something new, you create something for your target group, something that is different from what they are being used to, then from my perspective it's innovative as well. So let's try and look at innovation from all the perspectives, not only from the startup ones. Thank you.
Thank you, Cristian.
Hello all, my name is Laura and I'm really glad to be here. So I have two main occupations. On one side I'm a software engineer at PTech Plus, and on the other side I'm a PhD student at the Faculty of Mathematics and Informatics from the Babeș-Bolyai University. So at our university we have multiple directions regarding innovation, but the principal one is the InnoChange project, which is an international project that focuses on increasing the entrepreneurial and innovation capacities in the academics. My role in InnoChange is of a scout. Basically what I do is I discuss with research groups and we try to identify projects that have commercial potential. And we are trying to help them to take their projects outside the university. Moreover, at the level of the Faculty of Mathematics and Informatics, we started a hub or an incubator for student startups. What we are doing is we are organizing different events like hackathons, idea jams, where we are trying to identify student ideas, teams made up of students, and we are trying to help them to participate in other competitions like innovation labs. So I think that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Hi everyone, I'm Florin. I'm glad to be here with my colleagues, in fact my friends. I see also a lot of friends and collaborators in the room. I can speak about innovation for a double perspective. One perspective is related to my involvement in investments as an angel investor, and I'm looking to see innovation in projects in which I invest. The other approach is approach of a business advisor. I work with companies, helping them to scale up, and I look also to innovation as a must, as a part of their growth strategy. And to be more practical, I think I'm glad to be here in this room, in this space, because I worked for this company. And to be more practical and effective, I think study case of innovation is right here. Because when I worked many years ago for this company, it was outside top 10, and now everybody knows where it is. And my question, how would be this possible without innovation? So this is a really good practical study case about innovation in Cluj. And I think this it was possible also with innovation in terms of business strategy. How to grow, how to scale, how to bring new clients, new business channels, new products. So innovation for me is not only about tech innovation and product innovation, because I'm not a tech guy. I work with probably the best tech guys in the area, but my perspective on innovation is that should be also in the field of the growth strategy, business strategy, especially the growth strategy. So yeah, that's my perspective, and we can detail further. And thanks again to be here with you guys.
Thank you, Florin.
Thank you, Florin. You put me the ball on the, let's say, on the land. And yeah, from my point of view, the innovation, it's a modus of operandi. I am in the tech since 13 years ago. And I saw how the technology can help the business. And yeah, when I started, I just graduated the computing science in Cluj. And my colleagues want to, initially I work in the other company which offered, have a lot of shops and warehouses, and I worked 1 year in there, and I saw how difficult it is to be only one engineer in that moment. Nobody wants what is about the computing science, and to have a lot of things to do. I work very hard since in the morning till late in the night to put the programs and working in the let's say shoppings, small shoppings and warehouses, and after that I came in the bank. And very often I said to my colleagues that I started the banks from the knees, trying to see where the cabling is not functioning in that moment, and the customer was unhappy that is not functioning, the network and so and so. Passing through the innovation can be done not only in the big markets. The innovation is where is necessary and to have something. I remember that in 2010, Banca Transilvania was the first bank worldwide, not in Romania, not in Europe, which offer remittances through the ATMs and cards. We have a lot of, let's say, Romanian, which decided to work in abroad, and necessity to send funds for their family, it was 24/7. Not only from 9 till 5 and from Monday till Friday, and we discovered that it's very important to offering, and it was quite large adoption. After that, Florin said how it was possible to being able to execute. We grow naturally from, let's say, from 0 till 4th or 5th position in the market, and after that it has been the possibility to have M&As. We acquired 2 banks in 2015, Volksbank 2018, Banpost, and last year Idea Bank. And in each it was very difficult how can be and what can be. We said, okay, it's time to execute, and in 2015 we closed it. Okay, with M&A very simple, it's 2 steps. One is negotiated, after that paying money and taking the ownership and to try to start the process of the integration. In 2015 we was able to start in April, finalize when everybody celebrate in December with New Year. We decided that is the best moment to work. When everybody is celebrating, we need to migrate and to have less friction for the customers. And yeah, in both cases it was minimum, let's say, friction for BT portfolio, our customer, when we adopt the new kits from Volksbank initially. We repeated in 2018. In 9 months it was sharp like a baby, and in 2018 when we have the chance to integrate Banpost, in that moment I played the role to be in the, let's say, not only in the technical but also with the business. I have the role of the CEO of the Banpost for 1 year, and to not lose any kids, responsible with also the business, to transfer entire portfolio and to defend in the market, because that's the most critical when somebody to being able. And we executed again in 9 months. Everybody initially said that it was a luck, that with 9 months, second times, okay. And last, it was with Idea, when we took Idea Bank, and now we want to transform in the full digital bank without, let's say, anything. Partially has been transformed. We closed the network, and all services is through the BT, let's say, ATMs and network for collection. And now we are implementing their full, let's say, platform to being able to be full digital. With Idea Bank, we migrate the portfolio in 6 months. And we said if will be other challenge, maybe, and which is funny. After a while, 6 months or later, the friends asked me and the other, what about that project? And we said, okay, it's already done. And they said, okay, this means from my point of view, okay, if nobody, is no rumors, no loudy, and if it's quite executing and so on, that means it's just on time, on the needs, and maybe some innovative in, because yeah, to being able to execute is necessary to tune, to refine, to take the technology which help, being able to support and to grow, and yeah. Now my main challenge regarding the innovation is how we can continue to being able to, for the customer to have financial adoption, because it's needed. Yeah, for even if it's how long it's available, but it's also important where it's available. The banking with the technology is possible to go in the mountains. It's going to be okay, but also to have the products, which yeah, it's challenging time. If we are not trying to see after 2 years of pandemics, after the war. where the productivity and the velocity, it was what it was, and so we can see why is the inflation now we can discuss, but I don't want to say too much. Maybe from my point of view, the innovation is how we can pass through these challenging times with good, not shaking, and being able after the tunnel to be in the other world, because it's continue changing, and we have to take care each others. We have to be to take care about the possibility to pass through this, let's say, challenging time with better condition for all participants, for all our, let's say, citizen, co-national, and the Romanians. We decided to work in abroad and to being able to support them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Leontin. Andrei?
I liked what you said about taking care of each other. I think that's the main takeaway from me, at least. And it's very much related to where we started with Cluj IT 10 years ago. 11, actually, almost 11 this year. At that point, there were very few organizations, very few people who were talking about innovation. And Cluj IT was the first one who brought it on a center stage, if you allow me to say that. In 2013 and later on in 2014, basically we proposed a rebranding of the city. We know how it was before that. It wasn't very good. It was a time when Cluj was a city like a fortress, I would say. We tend to forget the history, but it's recent history otherwise. So the changes that have happened during this last 10 years are absolutely tremendous. And as I said, we proposed this rebranding of the city when we came with this concept of Cluj Innovation City. And I think that still, bears a mark of what is happening today. And today we see so many things that are happening in Cluj, which are based on innovation. And our belief at Cluj IT is that innovation cannot happen if we don't have this connection between various stakeholders. And just if we look at this panel, we see the very different backgrounds of the people who are representing very different organizations. And I think that's the key to have meaningful innovations happening across a community. And I can only hope, and this is my message for the future, and it's again stemming from what you said, Leo, that we can take care of each other and we can find the ways to collaborate. For us, for Cluj IT, this is very important, and it's the core, let's say, value that lies in everything that we do, in our projects, in our initiatives, in the events we are organizing. We are always trying to push this idea that we need to come together, we need to understand the different backgrounds, we need to find the best ways or the common ground where we can work together. So yeah, that would be my point on this.
Thank you. So I want us to discuss a bit about past and current examples of innovations here in Cluj. Without a doubt, we are right now standing on the premises of one of the best examples. As Leontin shared his story about Banca Transilvania. I am also inspired by what you've been able to do here and what you've created here in Cluj. I'm curious to see from all of the speakers, and we can go, I think, from Andrei, just so everyone has enough time to discuss. What are some examples, past examples or current examples of innovation that come to mind?
Okay, I think we should leave Leo to respond first, because he has limited time. From 11 o'clock he has an important meeting.
Yes.
So Leo, you want to start answering this question?
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't want to monopolize the discussion, and I prefer to say, okay, how can be? Now at 11, as an example, I will disclose that I will have a discussion with the VP from one of the biggest tech company in the world, because now we are in the big process of upgrading core banking. We started a massive process of upgrading any platform, because to being scalable and being able to have good SLA, so it's always necessary to be ahead of time and to try to see, as I gave the example, to being able to migrate banks in, let's say, months. It's not walking in the park. It's important to have all tools necessary. Good aspect, what was with the innovation, the old customer which we imported, they stay with us. That means for them it seems that it's something good, and being during the night to change their life, I think it's innovation. And yeah, as I said, to not, because very often if it's not making on time and ahead of time, you can be victim of your success if you are not ready. And I remember in 2000, and it's something which okay, after the bump post, I was there 9 months, and when I came back in BT, we have some issues with the card system in two, let's say, very important moments. We have peak salaries, which is around mid-month, and in April, in June, it was so, as I said, the percentage of growing cards transaction is with between 25 and 60% year on year. As an example, 2 years ago we reached 1 billion transaction with cards in 1 year. Meanwhile, last year we are very close 1.5 billion. This is the percentage of growing. And in each second, we already reach 350 transactions per second. When I 350. If it is not well done, 350 two big plane of passenger, our customer is dissatisfied. And very often it's necessary to be ahead, to prepare, okay. One solution is to go in cloud, okay, and we can discuss, and so I am in favor of it. But all application is necessary to be cloud readiness. If it's starting from scratch, it's okay. We can discuss about the Kubernetes pods, how it's orchestrating, okay. At least we have to discuss about also the cost. Because if it's per transaction, if it's for everything, who is paying? And yeah, it's going to the customer, okay. And yeah, I said I will have the discussion with the VP being back, because in the process of upgrade we selected and so, one server, sometimes it's producing some issues. And we wait for a few months, it's not fixed for the other big producer in the worldwide, and I said, okay, can we go in the Formula One, okay, with the car to stay on the, okay, and sometimes, okay, one tire, it's not functioning, okay, and for that reason, either to transform or either to replace the technology immediately and to be ahead, and never to say it's enough. Very often to take the okay, which is the risk, how can we mitigate it, and to have always the something which is backup to being able to work. And when unfortunately the problem with the war near the border arise, we have 2 data centers, and in that moment you say, okay, it's time to open the third, because we didn't know, okay, it's time to migrate in cloud, but for cloud it's necessary to have everything ready, and we did it. Somehow, yeah, this is from my point of view the challenges, and very often, okay, the innovation, it's either to stay and to think what is innovative, or either to stay and to think ahead where will be the challenge in 3 years from now on. And in my mind now it's okay, we make the upgrade for majority of the critical platforms and we are ready for the challenges. Now remain the last one, which is most complex, because it's, as is the name, core. Okay, if the core is not functioning, it's difficult, and yeah, we have to upgrade and to be also prepared for the next 5-10 years where to be the challenge in that moment. Evidently, it's okay from my point of view, pleonasmus or something to say, everything to be instant, everything to be, if possible, scalable, and so and so. As now we're discussing about cards, but if the cards is not functioning, we discuss about the adoption of instant payments in Romania. I saw some discussion regarding the cost for instant payments and how can be reduced, and so, yeah, because in the gasoline station, It's very unpleasant. If the card is not functioning, you cannot take gas out and to not pay. And it's necessary to have an alternative. And so for those some boring, let's say, aspects we are working to fix. And I'm also VP in the Transfond, which is a clearing company for the Romania, let's say, clearing house. And there we launched the instant payments between banks. And yeah, now it's functioning, and we'll press more and more to have alternative for cards and to being able to offer good services and good quality for entire Romanian market. Thank you.
Thank you. One question, just because you're going to leave really soon, and this was a question that I want everyone to answer. Where do you find inspiration, or what's your fuel for innovating? And where do you find it, if you find it in the local ecosystem?
I think one important ingredient for innovation to be always with fears. Not be depressive, to not be anxious, but to be with fears. I am good enough. I am making enough what is necessary to be prepared for tomorrow, and never to sleep and to say that it's enough. I think it's one good ingredient to be innovative, and always, I said, workaholic, it's maybe too less, but a workaholic in the good manner. Workaholic means to take break, to things, not always, and to see the panorama, 360 degrees. And if you have a good idea, even if it's 11 in PM or something, to notice down, and next day to take and to try to tune and to see in which direction to go with that. But always, as I said, never I am prepared enough, no. Always to be ready and to see which is the challenges and to provoke and to move forward.
Thank you. Couldn't agree more. Yeah. Andrei?
Sorry, I have to...
Of course, thank you for the participation.
Okay. Thank you, Leo, and good luck. Good luck with the negotiations. Yeah.
So, Andrei, examples of past or current innovations in Cluj, and what inspires you? What's your fuel for developing the innovation ecosystem?
That's a good question. I would allow myself to speak about the innovations that I'm part of, let's say. And obviously then everybody else, I think, will share their experience. Well, if it just look at this conference, Cluj Innovation Days, I think it's a good example of how we can build a community in an innovative way. And as I said, we have been doing this for the past 10 years. And I think many projects, many collaborations have been established as a result of this innovative approach on building a community, because we are not bringing together at this conference only the IT sector or developers. We have a very diverse, let's say, participation from business, from consultancy, from academia, obviously the IT sector, which is the core part of what we are doing. And Leo was mentioning that you have to take care of the core activity. So this is the kind of innovation that a cluster can propose to a community. How we approach the relationship between all the stakeholders in a way in which we can build value for everybody who is participating. And we have been doing this, I think, pretty successfully. We have very good collaboration with the municipality. We have worked on the digital transformation strategy lately. And now we are moving forward with the Transylvania Regional Innovation Valley initiative. And I think all this add to the point where we can build that critical mass that was mentioned before.
Where do you find inspiration, or what's your fuel for everything that you do in the ecosystem? What makes you say, okay, I
touched upon this. The inspiration comes from seeing that things are really happening. That people are staying at the same table, that they are coming up with new ideas, new approaches, new ways to collaborate. And that's the role that we, we can do, and we have been doing for the last 10 years, and we will continue to do. It's part of, yeah, it's our inspiration and it's part of our mission.
Thank you, thank you. Florin?
Being part of several local startups, I'm amazed by the innovation elements that I saw in many projects. If I would say a couple of examples, I would say telehealth company called Telios, in which I'm involved, that brings some innovation in the field of how the medical assistant is doing the relation with the patient. And another example is an AI company, AI startup based in Cluj, in which I'm involved as angel investors, called AIVA, that built an AI solution that are using the CCTV technology, and which and with this is processing the data and the consumer behavior, and then this it's an important input in the business strategy and marketing strategy of the clients, usually the retailers and malls. Generally, being also an evaluator and juror in different accelerators, I see more and more that innovation is a criteria in all the programs, or in majority of the programs. The design of the accelerator programs from the beginning have focus on innovation, and these are incentive and motivation for the teams to think from the early beginnings to innovate. So this is really a good aspect, and this it happens also in Cluj, in the programs that are designed and organized and from Cluj and for Cluj. As fuel is for innovation, from my perspective, is my drive to solve clear problems, to reach to certain and practical outcomes, and also in an accelerate matter, and to bring results as quickly as possible. That's my drive for innovation. And on the other side, maybe more emotional, is to embrace risks, because risk is not always bad. So, and innovation means change, and change means changing things, means assuming risks. So when it's up to innovation, the organization need to embrace some risks, and probably to change the mindset and perception in general about risks.
Exactly. That's how magic happens.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay.
Thank you, Florin. Laura, what's your an example of innovation in Cluj, and where do you find fuel for doing more?
Yeah, so of course my example will be something related to university. So I want to mention one team of students from our university. They are called Manuscrito, and they developed an artificial intelligence solution that is helping children to write, to learn how to write. They won the Innovation Labs at Bucharest last year, and also various competitions at the national and international level. So this is one example. And in regards to motivation and inspiration, I think what keeps me in the innovative area inside academics is seeing these teams of students that came to our events, and the passion with which they are supporting their ideas. And I really like that at the end of these events, we are really surprised to see, okay, there are lots of interesting ideas, and they are coming from students. So that's really nice.
Thank you, Laura. Yeah. Cristi?
I'll give you two examples of innovation. One in the same direction as my colleagues from the startup field. Lumen, one of the startups that is innovating in the benefit of the persons that are having visual impairments. So they are one of the kind of startups that I really appreciate, that see beyond the economic value and see the human value of innovation. But also I will give you a simpler example of innovation from my opinion, that I try to see each day the innovation that is around us, that sometimes is very simple and it cannot be really eye-taking, eye-catching from the innovation perspective, is the dedicated lanes that are used for buses in the municipality. That from our discussions from many other municipalities in the region, sometimes we feel that is really innovative, because we feel the opposition in adopting such solutions, and we see those benefits at our local authority and for the citizens that use those dedicated lanes. And although it's not something that we usually could highlight it as an innovation, it really is, and it's really changing the lives of the ones that are using it. And what fuels me, what is my fuel for remaining and supporting innovation, is that I was really, at the beginning when I studied economics, one of the principles that really convinced me about this approach was from Adam Smith, the principle of specialization for each country. And I think that this can be replicated to the whole society. We cannot move forward only basing our work to what we do. We have to be a community, as Andrei said, and I think that this is something very important, to act as good as you can on what you are good at, and to be aware that you are part of something bigger, and do your part as good as possible.
Thank you, Cristian.
You were talking about history.
Yes.
So I will start with, I think everybody's familiar with this I don't know, this motto that we embrace now in Cluj, saying that we would like to be an ecosystem, not an ecosystem. Do you know where I think, I just realized that started? I think it started a little bit in 2010, when somebody from an entity that we never considered as a public institution, never considered would even acknowledge us as important for their project, sent us an invitation to become a member. And it was so weird back then to be a public institution, to be invited to become a part of a cluster, that we let it get buried under a lot of papers. And I think it stayed there for a couple of weeks until somebody started to call, because the magic of Cluj is a big enough city to be diverse, but a small enough city for everybody to know everybody. So luckily, somebody called and asked, what are you going to do about our paper? And then we discovered that we let an invitation get buried under a pile of paper. And it was an invitation to become a member, a founding member of the Cluj IT cluster. And I think it pretty much started from there. And I think it connects with everything that everybody says, and mainly with what Cristian emphasized. It's a good example of historic innovation when somebody trying to figure their way and their place and the way they can make a change considered that the other one should be a part of it. And the other one had absolutely no idea that he could even be acknowledged as an important stakeholder. And then the power of words comes. And when somebody tells you that you are important and you should be a part, then you start to put your mindset into this direction. And 10 years later, or how many, 13 years later, 11 years later, we consider ourselves so naturally a part of this that we started to even commit and bring our own energies and efforts to this community, this togetherness effort, by joining with another example of what inspired us back in 2010. I think this is just a glimpse on the historic way innovation worked for the city, and what inspires me to continue or to be a part of this, even if maybe I'm not the most likely, the usual suspect to be here, is duty. because I feel when all of you are doing all this, when this guy put together something out of the community because he just felt it's too good to let it be visible only once a year, when that guy sent us an invitation and told us, hey, public entity, you should be a part of it, you should care about it, then you have a duty to not disappoint them and to be there for them. And the learning and I don't know, the language that we change and all the inspiration that we got on the way got us where we are today. Proud to be here, feeling, I don't know, the need to also contribute with something and hopefully make us stronger together.
I think a sense of community, a sense of duty for our community. And Cristi?
First, I would start to say that seeing also other cities and other ecosystems in Romania and in Europe, Cluj is a pretty innovative city. As you go on the street, you can see a lot of people responsible about the present, responsible about the future, and trying to do their best. Here, I would put the fact that in terms of innovation, I think we need to think also about the competitivity of innovation, because on one part we need to be innovative, kind of like empathic humans next one to the other, but then we need to look also, okay, if we do this, and I think Cluj is doing this, so it's checked. I don't think we need to align a bit more in terms of stakeholders, players, to put more things in motion. But we are doing that. I think we need to get ready to get more speed in how to get to the next level, in which we also make profits, which will be reinvested into the community. Of course, it will not fly in Dubai with all those money, all of us, maybe some. And we need to think of how we can take the bar farther in terms of increasing the quality of life, increasing the affirmation of the humankind potential which we have here, like the minds, bright minds which we have, to put them on the global line. And our two speeds in this. So the first speed is how to come together, as I was saying, which is more human to human, more business to customer, not necessarily business to business. And examples here, I'll give it from my activity, just in terms of pointing out that are validated things which will help you further and will help our society, our local community. And here I'm putting the attention on TEDx Cluj, which will, for example, it will happen very recently in June, and it became from being organized for 100 people at the casino in the park. It arrived to be a conference of 2,000, 3,000 people, and being one of the largest in Eastern Europe. It was one in Bucharest happening, but TEDx Cluj became bigger. So, and it's a continuous fuel of ideas and speakers, so feel free for future things to propose yourself or speakers to come there with the innovation in mind. Another example is by coming into places together and to come and find places where you can work. And here again, without necessarily attracting attention on who did that, but Cluj Hub it's the oldest hub in Romania. The first one started in Bucharest, but it closed because they didn't have a good enough facility. And 3,000 square meters in the center of Cluj are equal. In Bucharest, you have one other like this, or a little bit bigger. The majority of the hubs in Bucharest are smaller. I'm just pointing out the fact that Cluj is already a player into innovation. We have the things, we have this conference, we have these discussions, we have the manifesto, we have all things. I think we need to, as we talk in investments, to start with the end in mind. We need to now to think that we are aligned at the start. We need to put ourselves a bigger challenge in front of us, which is, I think, related to competitivity on the global market, and to learn what it means to take that play and to start really playing into that. We matured enough in the innovation part. Let's take it further. We have the mindset, we have the arms, we have the collaborations. We just need to think more pragmatically about what to do with innovation. And in terms of the motivation, on my personal part, it's about determination of taking things happening and seeing them that they function.
Thank you. I have this one. So can we have one more question, but with a one sentence answer, so we have enough time? So imagine that you, because we're talking about innovation made in Cluj, imagine that you are an innovator, either from Cluj, either from another part of the world, and you want to innovate in Cluj. In one sentence, what would be your answer for why they should choose Cluj for innovating and not any other place in the world?
I think they should choose also Cluj, but not only Cluj. I think it's about the quality of life in Cluj. It's very good.
One sentence.
You could be based in Cluj, but Cluj or London or New York or whatever, don't let that feel everything in you. Like be curious about and go and explore. There is this small saying that live once in New York City, but live before it makes you hard. Live once in whatever other city, and live once before it makes you soft. So it's also be curious and choose where, I don't know, to put your soul, but let the other parts of you explore and connect dots, because opportunity comes from these differences, from the deltas. Create deltas.
Thank you. I just want so just to clarify, why should innovators come and innovate from Cluj, not only in Cluj?
Because when you come to Cluj, you're not just a startup or just an innovator, you are the startup.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why not?
That's a good. Why? Okay.
Yeah, I think I think you should innovate here, because for sure if you need something due to the ecosystem that we have here, you will for sure find someone that will help you.
Yeah.
One sentence is tough, but I would say that we have appropriate environment for coming here, and the main ingredient will be the young talents from here.
Agree.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the same. So for the people and especially for the young generations.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if you have any more time left. I'm asking you, Andrei. So no. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
So
exactly.
I would not want to sacrifice the coffee break.
Exactly.
I think that's important for people also to have the chance to